Hi, it's Jeff.
And Denise from Mousesteps.com.
And this is episode number 422.
422.
Of Mousesteps Weekly.
Sponsored by MEI Travel and Mouse Van Travel. There's actually a lot going on coming up both at Walt Disney World and Disneyland in 2022 as far as entertainment. We're first coming up on the Epcot International Festival of the Arts. And so if you're planning to travel, we're going to have a lot more information, I think, coming up on dates and such for like Main Street Electrical Parade is coming back to Disneyland, and so is quite a bit.
Festival of Fantasy is coming back to the Magic Kingdom.
Yes, and we don't have dates on any of that, I don't think yet, but when we do, we'll let you know, and you can book with MEI and Mouse Van Travel.
So as we mentioned last week, we're going to continue talking about our great trip to Disneyland Paris for the holidays, this time talking about the Walt Disney Studios.
And the Walt Disney Studios Park was really nice as well. There's not as much entertainment as usual, but there's still entertainment, and there's decorations here in the Studio One, and really pretty. This is sort of like, it's like an arcade almost, with shops and a restaurant.
A little respite from the cold, too,
yes.
Because it was very cold in the 30s and 40s when we were here.
It was very chilly. Just one day where it was almost unbearable for me. The rest of it, I was pretty good most of the time. Here is Santa, and I wanted to see what he was looking at.
Yeah, you just did. You'll have to rewind to read it. But anyway, as you mentioned, very nice and Christmassy. Now we're going to look at something very different for this park. The partner statue is in the Studios Park here at Disneyland Paris.
And I'm sure we've shown that before. Here it is with the holiday decorations and such. And they've really gotten into coloring the grass, different colors, which I find interesting. And there is
the dedication plaque there, signed by Michael Eisner. This opened under Michael Eisner's tenure.
Long time ago now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a while. So Hollywood Tower Hotel is to the left. You've got Animation Celebration to the right. And this park has been undergoing, it's undergoing a bit of a transformation.
Well, especially with the
Avengers Campus coming
Yes,
next
I was just
year.
going to say. So we're going to look at the first show of the day, A Funny Snowy Winter. Now, my advice, if you want to see this show, is to get there about 15 minutes early. You can get, at least the two times I saw it, 15 minutes gave me a front row spot, and it really helped to, after the show, the characters will come down and pose. This is a very fun show. We have Donald here, and Donald is realizing it is Christmas time, but he's not ready yet for Christmas.
Why not?
Because he isn't. And he needs the help of his good friend, Goofy. Look, I like how in the light bulb it even has the hidden Mickey there. See that? Mm-hmm.
And I know nothing goes to plan, and Goofy still thinks it's Halloween time.
Disneyland Paris projects that Goofy is Mr. Halloween. Oh, I wanted to mention, I love every time something happens with Donald and he goes into the right-hand side, you'll see feathers come shooting out. And I always got a kick out of that. It reminds me of the old Star Wars shows that they had at Hollywood Studios.
And it's just it's an interesting backdrop. You've got the smoke coming from the kettle there. Usually, at least a few years ago, we saw Mickey's Big Band show, which was amazing. These are what they're doing now are a little bit of smaller shows, but this was cute.
It was very cute. It was. I mean, I actually laughed out loud a couple of times. And look here's the fire. What I mentioned about with the feathers, it's kind of like in the old Stormtrooper skit when they would throw pieces of Stormtroopers when the Stormtrooper would go away. So that's what that reminds me of with his feathers. But very funny.
That was real fire.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's hard to tell there, but I was really surprised. It's like, for, again, a kind of a small show, they have some really good effects.
Well, whenever Goofy hits this button here, mischief ensues, and usually it's fire or there's that fire, and it's hot fire.
It is
too.
warm,
and that's very useful.
So it's hot fire. It's not the cold.
No,
fire.
But it does warm your face if you're in the front row. That's for sure. Honestly,
though, my favorite part, it is, and they got pyro. So with this again, this is sort of a little show compared to what they normally do, but you've got fire and you've got pyro. I mean, Disneyland Paris pulls out all the stops on this.
And it plays many times during the day, many times, so it's very easy to see. And then even at the end of the day, when it's almost nighttime, it's even more effective with the pyro.
This is my favorite part of the show, though, is they do kind of they come out here and pose almost like a meet and greet, but not so close to guests.
Now, this time, I don't think you were here, but this time they were really dancing and having a fun time together. And eventually the cast members like, you got to move around and take some selfies with the guests. They were so much into having fun there.
I thought I was here for this one.
Were you?
Yeah, because they were really, I got some video of them dancing.
They were so good. It was just so much fun.
I thought this was, because it shows their personalities.
Correct.
And stuff.
It really does.
It's not the show. It's them coming out here and just having a good time.
So here we are now in the La Place de Remy area. That's probably not the correct way of saying it. It's as good as it gets from me.
I listened to the pronunciation online, and I'm like, I'm not sure I can say that right now. So, of course, what would normally be Remy's Ratatouille Adventure in Florida, this is the original, and that's over here. And we went to Bistrot Chez Remy for lunch. This is not our first time going to Bistrot Chez Remy, but this is the first time I think in 2 to 3 years.
Well,
right?
it was certainly the first time during Christmas season, so we got to see the holiday decorations in the lobby area.
And all of the restaurants have holiday decorations.
Even the ones that aren't open.
Yes.
Waltz.
Like Waltz and Toad Hall. So these are really cool decorations, with the little chef hats and little like spatulas and such. So this was at the end of our meal. We came into the lobby because there was nobody left. The restaurant was pretty much closed.
Yeah,
at
it
this
was
point.
closed to new guests
Right.
coming in, so it was the perfect time. They were just kind of putting things away, so a great time for us to go and kind of really enjoy some of these great details they had here.
And there's a number of Christmas trees. They're all decorated the same. Again, you got the little spatulas, you got the little chef hats. It's really super cute.
Well, I see little rolling pins too. Very nice.
I barely even saw those. I think just because of all the lights twinkling, and it's a little harder to see them. And there's along the walls you have like awards and such. I didn't go and read what everything here means, but Chef Gusteau, I guess, had a lot of awards.
And of course, the book, Anyone Can Cook, that's a big part of the film. 5-star, a 5-star restaurant there.
And then you have Anton Ego. So, it's just a very nicely themed lobby. And normally you have a lot of guests in here, so you wouldn't really have a chance to read everything or look at everything. So, again, this was just a great time.
Yeah, I got to read Anton Ego's full review, which is framed, of course.
And then Remy received a diploma.
And this is one of the other trees. This one isn't twinkling as much. But yeah, it was great to actually have the time to really take in all of that detail. So now we're going to head into the restaurant and have a little walk around. The story is you're shrunk down to the size of Remy while you're dining here.
Just like in the ride, which it's attached to the ride. When you get off the ride, you can see into the restaurant through the glass. And you have all these plates. It's really a beautifully designed restaurant. And actually, the food is really good, too. This was probably my favorite meal here ever. I thought this was we had a great server.
Yeah, it was wonderful. It took a long time. You can explain quickly. There was a credit card outage this day. So I actually had to wait almost an hour for you to go to an ATM to get cash.
And they were like, "Oh, you can come inside."
Yeah, I told them I'd be happy to wait in the lobby, and you're like, "Oh no, come on in." And they gave me bread, and they gave me a drink. So I was able to sit at the table, and it was a bit of a wait for you to get the cash.
I was wondering why there was such a long line at the ATM when we walked into the whole day. I think the credit card system was down, and I guess you can get maybe at the train station you can get the money also, but we didn't. I ended up just waiting in line.
I love the big giant bottle of wine. 2014. That was probably a very good year.
And they actually do have a themed champagne also for Disneyland Paris as well, a regular Disneyland Paris one.
And this is the baby seat here. And we've seen those bottles of wine here at Walt Disney World also on display in some of the windows in the Remy Courtyard area.
Okay.
Smaller versions,
yes,
of course.
I understand what you're saying, the Anton Ego, if you go into the Remy's Ratatouille Adventure Courtyard. So you can see there's like champagne, I think like champagne corks as seats and such. And then it really is just a beautiful restaurant. And then you've got like cocktail umbrellas and the cookbooks and the cutlery, everything, the butter, the beurre. You've got delicious,
spices.
Yes, delicious spices of France. And there is the menu, and he brought us 2 menus and said keep them.
Yeah, they're paper menus, and we were able to
really
take them
nice.
home as a souvenir. They don't reuse them.
Well, I'm very surprised at that. So it's such a cute menu.
So I think you did the Remy menu, and I did the Emile menu, and we split the dessert.
And so the Remy menu is a starter and a main course, no drink. 34 euros. We got 15% off, I think, because we're pass holders. We're pass holders. Unfortunately,
we will be as soon as we go back.
And remember that includes tax and tip as well. We leave a tiny little tip also on top, but that is an all-inclusive type of a price, which is actually, to me, a really good deal for the steak I had.
And I had a Grimbergen beer there, the large beer, for only 8.5 euros, which I think is a good deal for Grimbergen on draft.
And we always bring you a Grimbergen home, also from Auchan.
And our aperitif drinks for being pass holders.
The Infinity pass holders. So that's just a non-alcoholic drink. Then we had some bread. And I had the good butter, too. I don't know how to pronounce the name of the butter. I, again, tried to learn it, but really a high-quality butter they brought with it.
This was my starter. It was a very nice salad.
That's a big salad.
Egg there. You have cheese. It was a very nice salad.
Yeah, I mean, it's not my type of salad, which is why I ordered the soup. And there is your...
Grimbergen. Have to have a nice sip of that Grimbergen.
And really, sodas are pretty expensive in Europe.
It's almost the same price just to get the beer or the wine there.
And sometimes in different places it's cheaper to get the wine. So this is a pumpkin soup. It normally would come with Laughing Cow cheese, which it seems like everything comes with Laughing Cow cheese in Disneyland Paris now, but I ordered it without.
I like the branded napkin there. Very nice. You don't always see that. And it comes, your soup came in the same exact container as that was...
La Crêperie de Paris at Epcot.
Which I thought was a nice touch. And I did try the soup, and it was very nice. I liked that a lot.
We almost came here twice, just like we almost went to Downtown Restaurant at Art of Marvel twice. And I kind of wish we had... Because I'm looking at my steak, but I just couldn't eat any more steak.
It's a massive portion, let me tell you.
It's delicious. And the fries, everything.
The fries are great.
So good, yeah.
Really, really good.
And then it comes with...
This is a small little side of Ratatouille. Not great for me, just okay. I didn't think the Ratatouille was anything special.
I feel like the Ratatouille portion used to be a little bigger, but I like it. But the steak especially was very good. And they used to have the little, like you would get a goofy, what are they called? Like
whatever that little stick is that is in the fries.
And they don't do that. I guess they don't do that anymore. And I think this was a tiramisu.
It was.
This
good. Also was very good. And we split it, which was a good thing because those steak, I mean, the meals, very filling.
Right. Like we normally on the menus, one gets the dessert and then the one, doesn't, so that we can just split it.
Which is a good way to go for us.
And it was a very nice restaurant experience.
Yeah, we were there for about 3 hours, actually.
Oh,
because I had to wait an hour for your arrival with our cash.
It was,
Euros, I should say.
We highly recommend it, right? I mean, we recommend it.
Look at that mustard. I need to bring that home. Is that Dijon?
We actually did bring Dijon
I know,
mustard
that's why
home.
I say that.
So, and then you can see kind of that Remy on the windows.
And as we walked out, you could see the trees have the little twinkling lights, and it was just getting a little dark. We're going to see a composite of 2 days here at the studios, but just kind of setting the mood. At night, it's very, very beautiful here.
And the other day, we were eating outside, not inside.
That's right. At the Gourmand, we're going to fully show that very soon. That was another wonderful experience.
And so you can see the fountain here has these beautiful decorations, and they twinkle at night. Oh, now we are going to magical Christmas selfie moments we got Mickey. This is where Mickey and the Magician would be in. That's supposed to be coming back maybe in a few months or something to Disneyland Paris. I don't think there's no date announced yet.
But just, when you see the sign, it just says selfie moments. You're not expecting this. I mean, first off, they open the curtain. Now you have the Fairy Godmother. She's casting a bunch of spells. And all of a sudden, you're going to see Cinderella make an appearance on her coach. And then Mickey is with his Christmas tree and his Paris outfit there. Really a fantastic experience.
I will say, I think it was supposed to be from like the second showing. I don't want to say showing, but the second meet and greet was from like 4 to 5. You can't just show up at 5 and expect to get it.
Oh no, no.
And maybe not even 4:30.
It took us 3 attempts, 3 separate days, and even this was our very last day.
We were turned away.
We were denied, and we were just kind of waiting around on our phone, and then at about 5 minutes later, the cast member said, "Oh, we had somebody leave. If you'd like to come in and meet Mickey, you can come in."
We weren't close to her, but we were within view. And then when we left, a cast member was like, "Do you want to meet,
Mickey Mouse?" It's like at first they
so
deny you, and then it's a very Paris thing, unfortunately. But it was worth it to try so hard to see this because it was a fantastic experience.
I do wish they would say, like, if it's 5:00, then the last person comes in at 5 or something, or close to it.
Yeah, right.
So, but Fairy Godmother, she was very talkative.
Very talkative, Fairy Godmother.
Not just with us, but like the guests beforehand, probably because Mickey ends up spending so much time with
I was
others.
commenting on the snow. She conjured up this snow, and we had just seen snow the day before.
Real snow.
Real snow. So I was telling her what a nice thing for her to do. Normally, it's Elsa making the snow, but this time it was the Fairy Godmother. And there's Cinderella. We had just seen her in the parade, so I told her that we enjoyed seeing her performance.
I didn't tell them anything.
I told them all
yes,
this.
I know.
You can watch our video. But the Fairy Godmother kept asking about Florida and how it's warm, and she was very inquisitive about us.
Maybe we'll see her here in Florida.
But it was a magical and wonderful experience. And then after that, we moved on and talked to Mickey. And when you're talking to Mickey, it's always a great time.
And this is where the big band beat show had been a few years ago. The holiday big band beat, right?
No, I think it was the other theater, but I'm not 100%. It could have been this. It probably was this theater.
I think it was in this theater, and then.
Oh yes, it was, because this is the same theater as the Magician.
Mickey and the Magician.
Right.
So Mickey is showing us the gifts here,
and he's even motioning that there's a gift for you. I told him it's probably cheese. That's why he did that tumbly thing. He said he likes the cheese.
And this is his outfit for Mickey and the Magician.
That's right.
And of course the set for Mickey and the Magician. So
hence he's doing some magic for us.
I mean, it's really kind of a special experience in a situation where you'd rather you might want to be seeing Mickey and the Magician, but instead you get to meet them. So it's a little something unique.
It's a lot better than when you just read the sign that says selfie spot. You know, or when the manager comes out, do you want to meet Mickey? Mm-hmm. This is a full experience, not just coming in, seeing Mickey, and on your way.
I really enjoyed it, and we met them also in June. I mean, you're on the stage. You get to be on the stage for Mickey and the Magician, which is really cool.
So we're just showing some of the. You can say what they call this food festival here.
The L'Hiver Gourmand.
Yes.
So these are 2 booths that are set kind of off into a different area than the Place de Remy.
Right. I'm not exactly sure. I mean, I think they're part of it, but they're not part of that one section. Certainly.
Right. I think they are. And like one of these booths is the Winter Twist. This might be the vegan booth.
No, the other booth was the vegan.
Oh, okay,
this is the boozy booth. And I notice on their attire, they actually have L'Hiver Gourmand aprons.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so there's actually then 7 booths, with 5 of them being in the other section. So you can see this is a Disneyland Paris cuvee, which we did get in a cup.
Yes.
In one of these
paper cups.
It was actually in like the soup cup, and we'll show you that. This was actually very lovely, and I really wanted to do it. And even though it was probably in the 40s out, I'm like, I want to eat outside. I want to try some of these items.
This was actually Thanksgiving afternoon, and of course they don't celebrate Thanksgiving in France, so it was just the normal day. It was quite nice for us to be celebrating, having our Thanksgiving lunch here at the Gourmand.
And there are places, like we had friends who had like a Thanksgiving dinner, meaning just like a turkey dinner, and wanted to celebrate, eating turkey, I guess.
And we did have a nice sit-down dinner with friends this night. So, I mean, it was a full Thanksgiving experience.
The parks were not very busy this week at all, so it was very nice. And there were sometimes lines for this, but they moved. The food here, everything we had was so good. And I forgot to write this one down, but this was like the raclette cheese, and you had like a sandwich of it.
And we're going to show all the food at the end. We're just kind of doing an overview of all the different booths. There you are, taking some pictures. They're putting out some of the pretzels.
We didn't even have a pretzel, and
the food is filling, though.
Yes.
I was very full, and didn't want to jeopardize the dinner we had made plans with friends for that night.
And this is really similar to going down to Paris, so you get to do it in a
and they're all moving around a lot because it's so cold. It's like 37 degrees. You can see all the steam.
And we went down into Paris. We saw a few of the food booths there, and it's really not that different. So it's just a nice atmosphere to be able to do this in, and you've got the little tables and everything.
Nice hot chestnuts there.
I got Jeff one of those chestnuts.
Oh, I was so happy.
And they filled it where I still had chestnuts I didn't even realize fell in my camera bag.
And I ate them
next day.
later on. It was quite good, those chestnuts.
And this is, they have a crepe booth, which I ended up with a salted caramel crepe. You had a duck breast
I wanted to try
well.
something different that I could not get. At least I don't think they offer that
not here.
In the France Pavilion.
And here they had Nutella, chestnut cream, and a salted caramel crepes here for €5, and then the duck breast crepe was €7.
What a great deal! I mean, it was so good, so good.
And that would be like $5.50 for the salted caramel crepe.
And they're heating them up. They're making it fresh here right in front of you. They're nice and hot, very hot.
And so there's also if you go out to Disney Village, which is like downtown Disney type place, they have the same company that runs the chalets there as well.
So there's my hot raclette cheese, and I think that's ham on my little
and you
sandwich.
Like that.
I loved it. It was very, very good. And of course, nothing goes better than some fine Disneyland Paris champagne, real champagne.
It was a decent portion though, compared to what they charge for a bottle or the cup. I think it's a little more than what a normal glass would be that they gave. This was butternut soup, €5. Nice size portion, extremely hot. Really hot, like I burned my tongue hot, but really good.
This is my duck crepe being made here. And
I'm so hungry looking at
I
this.
know, and we haven't eaten yet. I think we're going to have lunch after we record this show. But
we will be.
I would love to have that right now. And I'm going to have you unwrap my crepe here so we can take a better look at it.
And again, this is it's €7, meaning it was about $7.70 for a very nice.
A lot of duck down there, and the cheese. It was a steal. I mean, I would have this again. Absolutely, it was so good.
And I forgot to write down when this ends, but it's in March. The L'Hiver Gourmand ends in March, and then
I think this is your salted caramel.
Yes, and I love this. I loved it, and I wish I had gotten another one at some point.
Well, you're going to nicely unwrap so we can get a quick look at that.
I kind of wish I had gotten a chestnut cream also, because it's not something you can get. And it's sort of like here, it's not like you have a very thick portion. It's very delicate, really delicious. We got some
mulled wine. Oh, boy. And we each had our own because it was very, very hot.
€6 for that. And there's
chestnuts.
Right, and
hot,
I
roasted chestnuts.
And I had like 3 of them still in my camera bag because I placed it in my camera bag. It looks like a full portion there, though, so I don't know how they even thought I was going to take them.
The used champagne cup came in quite handy for holding that cone of chestnuts.
And I just, we're sitting here next to one of the booths and such. It's lovely. You can see there's all kinds of decorations, and so it kind of.
I would love to go back right now.
Me too. I'm looking at the food and the atmosphere, and you would think that it's in the 40s out. You might not want to just stand outside and eat, but it was really nice.
And hold on, it is not over yet. It is the Bûche de Noël Christmas cake here.
And really, until this time, I didn't really realize there were. So you could have kind of unlimited types. I always thought of it as a chocolate Yule log because that's usually what I see, and that's we got the chocolate because I love chocolate. It was really delicious.
You should have tried the other 2 versions.
But I wish we had started earlier
right.
and come here, on a number of occasions, and we just really kept putting it off. That's the way it is a lot of times.
We did try 2 different and unique versions at Epcot. We had a Canadian-inspired version at the Canada booth.
In France.
And then, of course, the France booth. But nothing beat the one we had here.
And the France one was very good. I didn't care for the Canadian one as much. But this one was my favorite of the three.
Here's a look at some of the lights in this area here. You have your Christmas ornaments all lit up, and everybody is enjoying the festival.
Yeah, and I mean, you have the during the night it sort of starts really lighting up and becoming just a very beautiful area. And so I definitely recommend Disneyland Paris for the holidays. And I think when March 6th, I think, is when they are starting the 30th anniversary. I think that's when they're kicking it off, even though April 12th is the actual anniversary date. And I think this is still going on at that time for another couple of weeks or so.
I just wish that we could
have it in front of me.
Have smell vision, because when you're walking by all those booths, it does
delicious.
Very, very nice in the air.
I just want to go back now. Like, I'm ready to go back, and I'm hungry.
Well, here is another reason to go back. Coming up, we're going to see one of your favorite attractions of all of Disneyland Paris. It is Cars Road Trip at night. The nighttime version of Cars Road Trip.
I didn't even realize we were talking about this.
Well, why not? It's it's one of the only times you're going to see it illuminated at night. And this was a beautiful time at dusk. You could see all the leaves. This is something we don't see here in Florida. All these leaves on the ground.
Not so much. And so Cars Road Trip, they started in June when they opened in June.
We were actually there on opening day.
Yes, and so normally, like in June, it was dark at 11. Here, it's dark at 5, and so, if the park is open long enough, you get to see it at night.
Well, especially this Catastrophe Canyon area, it's very nostalgic, of course, because this does not at all exist. It's now where Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is at Hollywood Studios, so it's nice to see it again, and all this movement is because we're in the tram and things are moving, and it's about 35 degrees, and we're about to have lots of water come down.
But fire,
never
too.
Never better having the water effect when it's 35 degrees. The fire helps, though. It definitely does.
And this is what the backlot tour was, but they rethemed it to Cars. And while I didn't love either of them, it's nice having a Catastrophe Canyon because it's the only one left.
Oh, especially again on a night like this,
It's
having all of that
not
nice,
hitting
delightful
you too
water
much.
and spritz. Come on, it was
The flames were much better because you could feel that heat.
I do like how you see all the different lighting effects added at nighttime, or maybe it happens during the day and we just don't see it.
And there are some aspects of this that I like, and you can see there's the different characters Mater's coming up. I do wish they'd add some more scenes in because there's not tons to look at all times during the Cars Road Trip.
Yeah, I agree. I think there is hope for this attraction if you added a few more scenes and maybe you had some of the characters be well. You know what I'm saying.
Yes.
You certainly there is room to upgrade it.
And I love the iFuel tower. I think they should bring in more of that type of thing. It's just a very a fun take on the Eiffel Tower.
Absolutely. So anyway, I just thought I'd throw that in there because it was very unique, and we're talking about the Walt Disney Studios Park. Here's some views of the park at night.
It's a beautiful park. A lot of it is a beautiful park. I think the L'Hiver Chez Remy area is my favorite. But looking here toward Walt and Mickey, who are in the dark, and the Hollywood Tower Hotel is very nice.
And as we were walking out, it was Santa Stitch waving goodnight to us.
And we were not expecting this, and we were in a hurry.
Yeah, we were in a big hurry. It's a good thing we stopped to get this.
I forget why we were in a hurry.
We were going to see the parade in the other park.
Oh, right.
And even though we said we had absolutely no time, we still made just a few minutes for a quick shot of...
Not minutes, like 30 seconds, yes.
But it was worth it. And now we're going to say goodbye to the Walt Disney Studios Paris. Beautiful decorations out front. But now we're going to have a little bonus and head into Paris itself.
We did one day in Paris and one day in Rennes. So here is Galleries, and this is all we're going to talk about today in Paris. Galleries Lafayette, it's a huge store. It feels like a mall.
It's like Macy's in New York City, if you've ever been there during the holidays.
And they have a tradition where they have a giant Christmas tree, a different one every year. This is a tradition since 1976 in the Dome. This is my first time. Every year I say, I want to go here. I want to go here, not just for Christmas, but anytime. And we never do. But
the Christmas, I think, is the very best. I mean, look at how beautiful all this looks.
And this is, it says it's filled with toys from 1, 2, 3 Christmas. And there's an astronaut Father Christmas, and he spins around under the dome, and every half hour lights go out, and there is a sound and light show, which we did not see.
I almost see a hidden Mickey on this doll
You always
here.
see the hidden Mickey. So do I. But the store is 750,000 square feet, and it has a gorgeous rooftop, which we're going to look at. But this was really beautiful, and we went on a Saturday. A friend of ours was like, "Don't go on a Saturday night."
It was very crowded. It was
crowded.
It was not easy, especially in this upper area, to get right up where we are right here. You had to sort of wait your turn, but it was fine.
But when you look, you can see it's movable. It's not like so packed. So I don't know what it would be like during the week to be a little less so.
It reminded me of seeing the Mona Lisa. If you're just patient, you wait for your turn, you will get up front and you'll get to see it.
And this store, again, over 100 years old, Art Nouveau. It's beautiful, and I love the history. Like, there's so much history in Paris.
The only thing more pretty is the rooftop. Look at that view.
It really feels like when you get to that rooftop, and I've been on many rooftops in Paris, but this was even a little more, you know.
The only rooftop that was more spectacular was Notre Dame, but that was a lot of steps.
I didn't do that. I didn't end up doing that one. There's just something about seeing all this history, and it just feels like you're like on a movie set, you know, from this location. It's free to go upstairs. You just keep going up all the escalators.
The whole thing is free. I don't think we spent any money. I don't think we could have, because the lines at the registers were very long.
And, you know, they have very, some things are more expensive, some things are less expensive. You know, it feels like a lot of stores in one store, and plus they have food places, you know, little restaurants and stuff.
With all those escalators, it really reminded me of my younger days going to Macy's in New York City, just crowding, up, going to as high as you can get to meet Santa Claus.
We didn't meet Santa Claus up there. I think they serve, like, if you want to buy drinks up on the roof, and I would maybe even do that if it wasn't so busy.
I think on our next trip we'll go during the week and see what it's like on a less crazy day.
Either holidays or not holidays. It's just a beautiful area.
And that is another show. We want to thank our sponsor, MEI Travel and Mouse Fan Travel.
Check them out for your trip in 2022.
We just signed on for another year, 2022, another wonderful year with MEI Travel.
They've been wonderful, and, you know, they've been in business a long time, and they have a lot of agents, and they can help you. Becky has been the last few months just traveling, research trips on cruises at Walt Disney World, at Disneyland. We're the ones doing the Disneyland Paris. But she is really, you know, the agents are all doing that as well.
So what are we going to talk about next week?
I have no idea.
Well, we have been to Epcot. We've been to Disney's Animal Kingdom. I think you're going to make a trip over to the Magic Kingdom.
But
and
not to
mention Universal this week. We'll have lots of content. I already have tons of content from Animal Kingdom, from especially Merry Menagerie, one of my favorite things of all at Walt Disney World for the holidays, and of course Epcot for the Festival of the Holidays.
Right. Just maybe we'll touch on a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything, I think, is what we'll see for next week.
That's what I think.
So anyway, thanks again for listening. Have a great week, and we'll see you all next week. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, and have a great week. I'm ready to go back to Paris.
Me too.